Read the memo here. Hillary implicated. White House shakedown underway by Amanda Shea for freedomdaily.com. The long-anticipated FISA memo has finally been released after a sudden shakeup in the White House yesterday, with California Representative Devin Nunes caught alerting it. Based on the extensive detail it just exposed today, we're not only getting confirmation of what many conservatives had long suspected, but more information revealed within it is even worse than we realized. It's fair to say that there is a complete shakedown underway in the White House, and by the end of the day, some people could find themselves out of a job or facing jail time. This was perhaps the day that Hillary Clinton knew would come if Donald Trump took office. She tried to stop it in a number of incredible illegal ways, and now she's been implicated in the actions and Trump exonerated. It's long overdue. And here is the memo here. And you could read it because I just read it on another article here. And this is much, much clearer. And I'm going to just stop that upload and just put this in. But let's get to the gist of the article. You could stop it and read it yourselves, but let's just get a breakdown here. Fox News reports a memo that shows alleged government surveillance abuse has been released and includes testimony from high-ranking government officials who say without the infamous Trump dossier, the FBI and DOJ would not have secured surveillance warrants to spy on at least one member of the Trump team. The House Intelligence Committee released the memo on Friday afternoon. Specifically cites the DOJ and FBI surveillance of one-time Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, saying the dossier formed an essential part of the application to spy on him. The memo, which has been at the center of an intense power struggle between congressional Republicans, was declassified ahead of its release Friday. It also claims the FBI and DOJ used media reporting to lend credibility to the dossier, while the firm behind the dossier, Fusion GPS, briefed major American news outlets to include New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, New Yorker, Yahoo, and Mother Jones. The memo shows that after former British spy Christopher Steele was cut off from the FBI, he continued to pass information, as did Fusion GPS through Justice Department official Bruce Orr's wife Nellie began working for Fusion GPS as early as May of 2016. It also claims evidence that Steele has a personal animus for President Trump. Steele admitted to Orr his feelings against the then candidate Trump in September of 2016, when Steele told Orr that Steele was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. The memo reads, according to an expert obtained by Fox News. Speaking to reporters on Friday, Trump, who has read the memo, called the contents a disgrace. A lot of people should be ashamed of themselves, he said. The unclassified 4-page memo says it was written to provide lawmakers information on the FBI and DOJ use of Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act or FISA surveillance during the 2016 presidential election. The memo says the committee's findings raise concerns with the legitimacy and legality of certain DOJ and FBI interactions with the FISA court and represents a troubling breakdown of legal processes established to protect the American people from abuses related to the FISA process. The White House sent a letter to Nunes accompanying the unredacted, declassified memo Friday. The president understands that the protection of our national security represents its highest obligation. White House counsel to the president, Don McGahn, wrote a letter to Nunes Friday. McGahn said the White House review process included input from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and the Department of Justice, along with direction from lawyers and national security staff. Consistent with this review and these standards, the president has determined that declassification of the memorandum is appropriate. McGahn wrote, clarifying that the memo reflects the judgment of its congressional authors. Though the circumstances leading to the declassification through this process are extraordinary, the executive branch stands ready to work with Congress to accommodate oversight requests consistent with applicable standards and processes, including the need to protect intelligence sources and methods, McGahn wrote. The release of the 4-page memo comes after the House Intelligence Committee voted earlier this week over Democratic objections to make the document public. This led to a rare and stunning rebuke from the Bureau, which said Wednesday they have grave concerns about material omissions from the fact that fundamentally impact the memo's accuracy. The memo includes alleged abuses involving FISA or the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. In a last-ditch objection, the top Democrat on the House committee claimed overnight that Chairman Devin Nunes had made material changes to the memo that was sent to the White House for review, but Nunes' office described the changes as minor and blasted the complaint as a bizarre distraction from the abuses detailed in the memo. The White House has backed the memo's release, calling for transparency. From here, it will be interesting to see how many more supporters Trump gains, and if the Democrat Party dwindles. Hopefully, people will see and acknowledge the truth for what it is, and that the corrupt leftist leaders cannot be trusted. Yeah, because it does implicate, because I read it on the other thing and I was uploading it just now, it does implicate it implicates that to get the warrant, that Rosenstein and Comey and McCabe signed. They were 3 different FISAs, and they signed them, if they didn't sign all 3 together, like their signatures were on these 3 FISA memos to get the FISA for Carter Page, and it names the DNC. Without the DNC funding the dossier, they wouldn't be able to get the FISA warrant either. So it implicates the DNC here. This is the last page of the part here. So we know about Bruce Orr and them, and they named the insurance policy, and that the media was working for them. But I want to get to the part here where it says, Perkins Coie made the payments. We all knew this. But the dossier compiled by Christopher Steele on behalf of the Democratic National Committee and DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign formed an essential part of the Carter Page FISA application, you see? And Steele was a longtime FBI source who was paid over $160,000 by DNC and Clinton campaign via the law firm Perkins Coie. And we know, and research firm GPS, to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump's ties to Russia. So in other words, they used this FISA warrant, this dossier to get the FISA warrant. Comey, Rosenstein, Andrew McCabe, all implicated in this to get this dossier. If they didn't sign all 3, okay, but still their names are on it, and it basically says everything we basically knew, but now it's in writing. So there you have it. You can read it. And this is the letter that McGahn sent to Nunes. So there you have it, folks. Let me pick this up a little bit. So yeah, the DNC is implicated in this, getting the FISA warrant, paying for it. So it's basically everything, only now you see that it's proven here. So this actually should take down Mueller's investigation automatically, because it's a phony dossier. It's a phony dossier. So it should. That's why I think Mueller stopped the prosecution of Flynn. The sentencing. The sentencing. He was due to sentence Flynn yesterday. He pulled out. Mueller pulled out of that. You know, Mueller's going to be like a laughing stock after this, basically. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't want Trump in, and it shows it on their texts. So here you have it, folks. And we'll get more information on what's going to take place after this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.